On today's show, Tesla breaks ground for a new assembly plant in China. Battery experts say that solid-state batteries are a long way off. And here are wheelchairs that look like they could actually be fun. All that and more coming right up on Autoline Daily. This is Autoline Daily, the voice of the automotive industry. Tesla just broke ground for a new assembly plant in Shanghai. It's also a gigafactory which will make batteries. It'll have the capacity to make 500,000 vehicles a year, starting with the Model 3 and later the Model Y SUV. It's the first wholly foreign-owned plant in China. Tesla plans to start building Model 3s at the new plant by the end of this year, which means that plant is going to go up in record time. In other Tesla news, its Autopilot system has racked up over 1 billion miles driven, and that's according to researchers at MIT. They estimate that the average miles driven with Autopilot engaged on a daily basis is about 4.5 miles, or about 14% of the total miles driven by the car in a day. The researchers say that by January 1st of 2020, Autopilot will hit 2.3 billion miles driven. California, like most states, funds its road repairs with taxes on diesel and gasoline. But since electric vehicles don't use those fuels, the state's going to start charging EV owners an annual registration fee of $100. But a new report from the Institute of Transportation Studies at the University of California, Davis, says that fee will not adequately fund road repairs. It suggests a per-mile charge instead, which it says is a relatively low-cost and sustainable solution. Ford's giving us its first public look at the new Explorer, but only in police trim for now. In terms of styling, the front end drops the boxy grille for a hexagonal one, which flows into a sleeker set of headlight assemblies. From what we can see, the side profile looks very similar. The standard 3.7-liter V6 in the Police Interceptor utility has been switched out in favor of a hybrid powertrain. Not only is its fuel economy 41% better, but it's also much quicker in acceleration tests. The passenger version of the new Explorer will be revealed later this week. And speaking of reveals, Infiniti will have a new electric SUV concept making its debut in Detroit next week. The QX Inspiration is said to represent Infiniti's plans for high-performance electrified vehicles, and they hint at future design. And we'll be back with a lot more right after this.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, your journey, our passion. Dow Automotive Systems, advanced materials that deliver better results. And by ExxonMobil.
The CES show in Las Vegas started out as a consumer electronics show, but it's kind of morphed into an auto show. And Autoline's going to be there this week covering the top stories from automakers and suppliers. Look for our reports starting later in the week. And if you happen to be at CES, look for us at the ZF booth, which is number 8500. The battle between Nissan and its former CEO Carlos Ghosn just ramped up. Now, Jose Munoz, one of Carlos Ghosn's top lieutenants, is taking a leave of absence from Nissan. So he's not going to be at CES in Las Vegas to unveil the new Nissan Leaf. It was supposed to debut at the LA Auto Show in November, but when Ghosn was arrested, Nissan delayed that unveil until CES. And here's our Autoline insight. Nissan is likely going to purge any executive, especially non-Japanese ones, who were part of Ghosn's inner circle. It's probably a good time for them to dust off their resumes and contact a headhunting firm. Are solid-state batteries going to be the game changer for electric cars? Maybe, but Bloomberg reports they're many years away. Automakers and others believe that solid-state batteries, which do not use a liquid electrolyte, are the only solution to long-distance driving with short charging times for EVs. But they probably will not go into large-scale production until after 2030. In fact, Mercedes-Benz just locked in a contract for lithium batteries until 2030 because it does not see solid-state batteries appearing before then. Almost all of the mobility solutions that we see are for able-bodied people, but Italdesign is working on services for people in wheelchairs. Its solution, called Mobi, would allow someone to ride their wheelchair right into a mobility pod, which then closes a couple of gates to help keep the rider in place. The user can drive the pod themselves or let it take over in autonomous mode. Sensors integrated into the pod are used to determine if there's enough space for it to get around obstacles. And Mobi is one of the 5 finalists in Toyota's Mobility Unlimited Challenge. Hey, did you see Autoline After Hours last week? Sandy Munro took us on a deep dive into the Tesla Model 3, and coming up next, he compares it to the BMW i3 and the Chevrolet Bolt.
Lighter, safer, stronger, quieter, and more sustainable. Tell us where you need to go, and we'll help you get there. Dow Automotive Systems. We don't succeed unless you do.
On last week's Autoline After Hours, we were joined by Sandy Munro to talk about his company's teardown of the Tesla Model 3. His team has also done a deep dive into the Chevrolet Bolt and BMW i3, and in the following clip, he shares the strengths of each of those electric vehicles from an engineering standpoint.
The Bolt did a good thing. GM doesn't have a lot of money to throw at all the different cars that they're developing. They took a Spark, ripped out the bottom, told somebody else to come in here, put in batteries and motors and whatnot, saved a tremendous amount of engineering costs and whatnot, and NRE, and boom, wound up with the car and got it into the marketplace quick. So that was a good thing with them. A good thing with the BMW i3, I mean, they were right out there with new technology. They had the carbon fiber stuff and all the other razzle-dazzle technologies, that casting that you can weld to 2 different kinds of aluminums, welding them together. That was amazing. I was very impressed. And with Tesla, pretty much everything else. They have the best design for electronics. They have the best electronics designs. They have the best harness designs. They have the best, as far as I'm concerned, from a driving standpoint. And you've driven the car as well. This is the thing. It drives like it's on rails. And then of course the motor and what do you call it? Slush box. That, or not slush box, but it's not really a transmission. Whatever, that kind of stuff, all that's inside the skin, everything inside the skin is, or apart from the skin, is brilliant. I think it's brilliant.
You can watch that entire show on our website right now at Autoline.tv or find it on our YouTube channel. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and please join us again tomorrow.